I never imagined that one simple moment would change the entire course of my journey in this world. For years, I ran with all my might, chasing what I thought were true happiness and success. I was convinced that if I could have all of those things, my heart would be at peace and my life would be perfect forever. But fate has a way of opening our eyes, usually just when we feel most certain of our path.
All this time, I always thought that happiness lay at the end of a long and difficult journey. I thought I needed a high position, abundant wealth, and the praise of many to be considered worthy. Every day, I woke up before sunrise and only went to bed late at night, never taking a moment to rest. I missed so much around me because my eyes were fixated on the distant vision of my goal. I even often envied those who I thought had already achieved what I had always dreamed of. In my heart, I told myself that I too should be like them, not to lose and to attain everything they had. I forgot to savor every step I took because my mind was always focused on what I didn't have. Until finally, my body and soul began to signal that I had gone too far without resting at all. There were times when it felt like the harder I tried, the further away my goal seemed. Every time I achieved one thing I wanted, another, even greater desire arose, immediately filling the void in my heart. I felt like someone walking on shifting sand, never finding a solid place to stop. That's when I began to wonder, was I truly walking toward happiness or moving away from it? But I still refused to stop, thinking that this fatigue was just a small test I had to overcome. I convinced myself that all the pain and exhaustion would be worth it when I reached the finish line. I kept moving forward, pushing my body, which was starting to weaken, and my mind, which was becoming tangled with overthinking. I didn't yet know that the finish line I was seeking wasn't actually where I thought it was.
Until finally, the day came when my body simply couldn't carry me another step. My legs trembled violently, my breath came in gasps, and I finally collapsed on the edge of the deserted path. I felt as if all my strength had been sapped from me, and for the first time, I feared I wouldn't be able to get up again. Amidst this confusion, I saw an old wooden house standing alone in the distance among the shady trees. With what little strength I had left, I slowly crawled toward it, hoping someone would help me. I didn't know who lived there, or if they would help a stranger like me, who looked so miserable. But I felt like I had no choice, because if I stayed there, I might not survive until sunset. After struggling for a while, I finally reached a wooden door that was already starting to turn gray. Suddenly, the door opened slowly, and an old man appeared, his face covered in wrinkles, but radiating with genuine kindness. He didn't seem surprised or suspicious to see me, but instead smiled gently, as if he'd been expecting me for a long time. Without a word, he gently helped me to my feet and led me into the house, which smelled of dry wood and warm tea. The house was simple, yet it felt so cozy and warm, as if it were embracing me with a tenderness I'd never felt before. He asked me to sit by the fire and offered me a cup of hot tea and a slice of his homemade bread. As the warmth spread throughout my body, the pain and exhaustion I felt slowly subsided. I looked around the room, realizing that there wasn't a single luxury item, yet everything felt so precious. There were no expensive paintings on the walls, just simple, lovingly painted landscapes.
Once I felt strong enough to speak, I began to recount my journey, my desires, and the goals I wanted to achieve. I told him about how hard I'd worked, how exhausted my body was, and how far away my search felt. The old man just listened quietly, occasionally nodding slowly, as if he understood exactly what I was feeling. He didn't interrupt or offer any advice, simply letting me vent all the burdens I'd been carrying alone. When I finished my story, a moment of silence fell over the room, but this silence didn't make me feel anxious at all. The old man then smiled and pointed to the heavy bag I was carrying, which was now lying on the floor near the door. He said in a soft but firm voice, "Young man, try opening that bag and see what you've been carrying all this time." I was confused by his words, but I complied, sensing there was truth in his words. I slowly untied the bag strap and began to take out, one by one, the items I had always considered so important. There were valuable documents, small pieces of jewelry I'd worked hard to buy, and other objects that symbolized status and wealth. As I stared at the items on the floor, I suddenly felt strange. They all seemed so small and insignificant. I even wondered, why had I burdened myself so much with things I didn't really need? I remembered how often I worried about losing these things, how often I cared for them more than I cared for myself. I was willing to walk long distances under the scorching sun and pouring rain just to add to the number of valuables in that bag. But when I fell to the side of the road, none of these items could restore my strength or ease my pain. They remained inanimate objects, unable to provide a single drop of water or a single inch of shelter.
For the first time, I realized that I had misplaced what was truly valuable in my life. I thought happiness lay in what I could hold and stuff in my bag, when in fact, it lay within my own heart. I had forgotten that physical health, peace of mind, and the kindness of others were things that could not be bought with anything. And I only now realized that I had wasted so much precious time chasing a vision I could never grasp. That afternoon in that old wooden house was a turning point I will never forget for the rest of my life. I still don't know what I will do next, but I no longer feel rushed or afraid of missing out on anything. For the first time in years of running, I felt calm and light in my heart, as if a heavy burden had been slowly lifted. I know this journey isn't over yet, but starting today, I will move forward in a much wiser and more conscious way. That night, I slept soundly, something I hadn't experienced since I became obsessed with pursuing my goals. No more nightmares about falling behind or failing, no more worries waking me up in the middle of the night. When I opened my eyes the next morning, the morning sun gently hit the window and fresh air poured in through the crack in the door. I woke up feeling much lighter, as if a weight that had been weighing on my shoulders for years had disappeared.
I walked outside and found the old man sitting on the porch, gazing at the trees swaying in the morning breeze. He greeted me with the same friendly smile as yesterday, then invited me to sit next to him, enjoying the cool morning air. We didn't immediately talk about heavy things, just silently enjoying the sound of the birds and the peaceful silence around us. For the first time, I realized that even silence with someone could be so meaningful and joyful. After a while, the old man turned to me and remarked that most people who passed by here always walked too fast. They always looked down at the road or looked off into the distance, forgetting to see the beauty right beside them. He said that happiness isn't something you have to chase to the ends of the earth, but something you have to find where you stand. Hearing that, I remembered my long journey, where I often passed beautiful scenery without ever stopping to enjoy it. The old man then told me that he was once just like me, full of ambition and wanting to have everything. He had left this house for years to go to the big city and pursue the wealth and luxury he dreamed of. He succeeded in getting everything he sought, but the more he owned, the lonelier and emptier he felt inside, until finally he fell seriously ill and realized that all his possessions were meaningless if he couldn't enjoy life in peace.
He finally decided to return to this old house, sell all his luxury items, and choose a simple life like I do now. At first, he felt afraid and confused, afraid that he wouldn't be able to adapt to a life so simple and far from luxury. But over time, he found a peace he'd never found in the big city, and a sense of gratitude that grew with each passing day. He realized that happiness isn't about increasing what you have, but rather about reducing what weighs you down. That day, I spent time helping the old man tend the garden and repair the brittle wooden fence. At first, I thought the work was hard and unimportant, but I found a special satisfaction in seeing the fruits of my own labor. The sweat dripping down my forehead felt refreshing, and the physical fatigue far less intense than the mental fatigue I'd been feeling. As we worked, we continued to talk,
and every word he spoke seemed to wash away the dust that had accumulated in my mind. For lunch together, we simply ate fresh vegetables from the garden, whole wheat bread, and home-squeezed orange juice. There were no fancy dishes or expensive drinks, but the taste was far more delicious than any meal I'd ever tasted before. Every mouthful was filled with gratitude, knowing how much effort went into growing it and serving it with love. It was then that I realized that true pleasure doesn't come from material luxury, but from sincerity and a sense of contentment within.
That afternoon, I walked alone along the small river that flowed behind the house, letting my thoughts wander freely. I watched the water flow calmly, following the curve of the land, never forcing itself, never stopping, but slowly reaching its destination. I realized that all this time, I had been like water, trying to fight the current and force its own way, only hurting myself. Perhaps life is like a river. We just need to patiently go with the flow and remain true to ourselves. I remembered how often I felt angry or disappointed when things didn't go exactly as I planned. I thought that failure was the end of everything, when perhaps it was simply life's way of changing my course to a better place. If I hadn't gotten sick and lost yesterday, I would never have arrived at this house and learned all these valuable lessons. Perhaps what we call misfortune is sometimes just a disguise for goodness that we don't yet understand at the time. That evening, I returned home and saw my heavy bag still standing in the corner of the room where I'd left it the day before. Now, as I gazed at it, I no longer felt compelled to carry it with me everywhere, no longer afraid of losing its contents. I realized that I could choose what I truly needed and leave behind what only weighed me down. The fear that had been binding my heart slowly dissolved, replaced by the courage to walk more lightly.
That evening, I sat by the fire with the old man, and we talked about the meaning of ownership and contentment. He said that we are only temporary guardians of everything in this world, not absolute owners. Things may be lost, broken, or left behind, but what we understand and feel in our hearts will remain with us forever. Hearing this, I felt as if the chains that had bound my feet were finally being gently broken. I asked him if I would regret it if I didn't have all the precious things in that bag. He smiled and replied that true regret never comes from what you have or don't have. The deepest regret comes when you spend all your time chasing the wrong things, forgetting what's most valuable. He said that your time and peace of mind are priceless treasures, and you can never replace them with anything. That night before bed, I took everything out of the bag and selected only what I truly needed. I kept the important documents and enough clothing, and left behind everything that served only as status symbols. The bag felt much lighter now, and my heart felt much more spacious than before. I knew that with a lighter load, I could see the world with clearer eyes and a more open heart.
As I lay in bed, I realized that the biggest change wasn't in what I'd taken or thrown away. The real change was in my perspective, in what I considered important and valuable in life. I no longer feel like I have to be like anyone else, or have to prove anything to anyone in this world. It's enough for me to be myself, to walk at my own pace, and to cherish every moment I've been given. I don't know where I'll go after I leave this house, but I no longer feel anxious about the future. I trust that wherever my feet take me, whatever happens, I'll be able to face it with a wiser heart. The hardest part of my journey may be over, replaced by a new understanding that makes me ready to welcome whatever comes. Tonight, I go to bed with a grateful heart, thanking fate for bringing me to this exact spot. That morning, I woke up feeling different from before, as if my soul had been cleansed of the dust that had accumulated over time. I knew that today was the time to say goodbye, to continue my journey armed with an understanding far more valuable than anything else. I made my bed and neatly rearranged my belongings, ensuring that not a single piece of trash remained. Afterward, I walked out to the garden, where the old man was waiting for me with a smile that felt like a father's.
We walked together to the fork in the road at the edge of the forest, where I would choose my new direction. The old man didn't ask me to stay, nor did he tell me to go in any particular direction. He simply let me choose with my heart. He said that this house would always be open to me whenever I wanted to stop and rest again, because true home isn't a place, but a feeling we carry within us. Hearing this, my eyes burned, because for the first time, I felt truly accepted for who I was, without having to pretend to be someone else. I promised myself that I would no longer rush, but instead take slow, appreciative steps, enjoying every sight around me. I promised to stop comparing myself to others and to value my own time and abilities. I also promised to never forget this valuable lesson, and that if I ever meet someone tired of pursuing something, I would share what I had learned. With a light heart and a calm mind, I finally waved goodbye and slowly walked away, leaving the old man there. During my walk that day, I realized how many beautiful things I had missed because I was too busy looking down or staring into the distance. I paused to observe how yesterday's raindrops clung to the tips of grass, or how a butterfly landed briefly and then flew away again. I listened to the sound of the wind through the trees, the sound of the stream, and the sound of my own heartbeat, beating quietly and peacefully. These small things felt so incredibly beautiful, and I wondered why I had previously dismissed them as so trivial and insignificant.
As noon arrived, I encountered a group of farm workers resting under a large tree. They greeted me warmly and invited me to share a meal. In the past, I would have declined, feeling they weren't my kind, or fearing I'd waste time I could have used for a longer walk. But this time, I sat with them, laughing at their stories and enjoying the simple meal they shared with me. I realized that genuine human connection is one of the most precious things in this world, one that can't be bought with any amount of money. Month after month, I continued to travel to various places, no longer rushing toward a specific destination. Sometimes I stopped for months in one place to work and learn new things. Sometimes I started again when my heart called to go further. I never became the rich or famous person I once dreamed of, but I never again felt lacking or empty inside. Every day I wake up with gratitude, and every night I go to bed with the satisfaction of having lived each day to the fullest. Many people ask me where I'm really going, or what my highest goal is that I hope to achieve at the end of this journey. I always answer that I'm no longer looking for a place to stop, but rather that I've found a way to be happy wherever I am. I used to think happiness was a final destination, but now I know that happiness is a journey we take with each step we take. You don't have to wait until you have everything to feel happy. You can feel it starting right now, with what you already have.
Sometimes, like everyone else, I still face difficulties, sadness, or things that don't go as I expected. But now, I no longer get angry or discouraged when these things happen. I simply pause, take a breath, and try to understand what I'm trying to learn. I know that storms won't last forever, and every difficulty will pass if we face it calmly and patiently. The biggest change isn't that my life is no longer trouble-free, but that I now have a heart strong enough to endure them. I often think back to that old wooden house and the old man who changed the course of my life, and I hope he's always healthy and happy there. One day, I plan to return to visit, not to ask for advice again, but to share what I've experienced thanks to his help. He has taught me that the most valuable things are never found at the end of a distant quest, but rather within ourselves. And if we pause to reflect, we'll realize that we already have everything we need to live a happy life. I now understand that chasing unnecessary things will only tire us out and make us forget to enjoy what we already have. Many people spend their youth working hard for possessions they can't take with them, only to grow old with regrets about missing out on time with their loved ones. We don't need to have everything to be valuable. We are valuable simply by being our simple and sincere selves. Don't trade your inner peace for something that will ultimately feel meaningless.
If you're feeling tired of running, confused about where to go, or feeling like you're not satisfied with what you have, try stopping for a moment. Take a deep breath, look around you, and ask yourself, Is this what I'm pursuing something I really need, or is it just something I want? Often we carry unnecessary burdens simply because we're afraid of being seen as inadequate, afraid of being left behind, or afraid of not being as good as others. But know that there's no race in this life. Everyone has their own time and path. Try to cultivate a sense of contentment in your heart, because contentment is the gateway to true peace. Contentment doesn't mean stopping trying or dreaming, but rather striving happily without being bound by fear or dissatisfaction. You can keep moving forward, learning new things and growing, but don't let those desires become a burden that weighs down your soul. Enjoy every step, appreciate every achievement, no matter how small, and be grateful for what you have today. My life's journey isn't over yet, and I'm sure there are still many lessons waiting for me in the future. But I'm no longer afraid of change or the unexpected, because I know I've carried the most important provisions in my heart. I've learned that what matters most isn't how far we go or how much we have, but how sincerely we live this life. And I hope this simple story of mine can be a good reminder for you too, wherever you are right now.
I finally understand that we don't need to be someone else to be considered valuable. We can simply be ourselves with all our flaws and strengths. We don't need to chase after the illusion of unreal luxury, because true happiness has been within us from the beginning. Life isn't a race to be the richest or most famous, but rather a journey of understanding, acceptance, and gratitude. Take a break if you're tired. Let go of what's weighing you down, and start walking with a lighter heart, starting today. This is the story of my journey, the story of how I stopped chasing unnecessary things and began to discover true meaning. Each of us has our own unique path, but we all have the same right to feel peace and happiness within. May we all become wiser in distinguishing what is important from what only burdens our steps. Thank you for walking with me in this story. Until we meet again in the next beautiful reflection. May this story serve as a reminder for all of us to appreciate more what is already in our hands. If any of the lessons touched your heart, don't hesitate to share them with those who need them. Thank you for taking the time to pause and reflect together here. Rest in peace, and may your heart always be at peace with every step you take.